The desire for love. It's something that is rarely said out loud or admitted out loud, but I think it's something that can be almost all consuming for a lot of people. I know for me, the desire for love has been something that has always been on the forefront of my mind. Well, maybe I shouldn't say always, but for the past, I don't even know how many years at this point. Pretty much all of my adult life, anyway. It's been something that's been a primary focus in my life, something that I've been chasing for a long time, and not with any kind of success really, but chasing nonetheless. And if we talk about like where it comes from, I mean, I wouldn't say that it feels less about the romance itself, and it's more about what it promises, um being truly known, being chosen. um Not having to worry about things alone, always knowing you have someone in your corner, things like that. It is the essentially the top form of human companionship, and we like to talk about how we're social creatures is 100% true, but like it is the probably upper echelon, the highest form of being social is being in love. That probably is the highest social form for humanity, right? And you could say that it's a bit idealistic. I know a lot of people, including me, get this very idealistic idea of love in their head, almost like the movie version, where it's sort of like this crazy intensity, and you have this crazy chemistry, and someone basically becomes your whole world, right? And I struggle a lot of the time to figure out if that is just rampant idealism or if it is just the actual end game, the actual end goal of love, and it's just something that not a lot of people achieve, so it's seen as this like unrealistic, idealism, when really it's just something that most people settle for the beta version of it. Most people settle for a lesser bond, I guess you could say. And maybe that's arrogant to say. Maybe I have a little bit of arrogance assuming that I would just be better than all these people, and all these people are just making the wrong choices and settling. I'm gonna do better. Stupid mindset, right? But I think why the reason idealism forms is it's kind of just filling a gap, loneliness, wanting proof that you're worth loving, wanting certainty in that uncertain area of life, and well, life is full of uncertainty, and on something like this, I would want to be very, very certain. I would want to be beyond certain that this love is genuine, right? I think my last video was about wanting something genuine, so this sort of works in parallel to, okay, that guy literally just swerved and tried to kill me, by the way. This definitely works in tandem with that, right? And this idea of love and shit, it sort of shapes behavior. I know a lot of people that sort of overinvest early. I definitely have friends that do this, and if those friends might even be watching this video, and they know who they are, right? They very much overinvest way too early. Reading too much into small signals, rejection, sort of feeling like a fucking verdict on your self-worth, not even self-worth, just your worth in the world, rather than just a verdict on your compatibility, you know? Or sort of the opposite reaction where you start suppressing it and performing a sort of indifference towards it, you know? Trying to act like you don't care either way. And I also know people that are like this. So there's sort of two sides to the same coin. But it all sort of boils down to the same innate desire, right? The harder question is it actually love that you want, or is it just relief from something else, you know? Is it just the relief from loneliness or low self-worth, or, you know, needing validation? And I do think that question is sort of worth sitting with, you know, worth just kind of taking the time to contemplate, because it's not that there's a wrong answer there, and it's not that you are now in some way immoral for desiring a certain thing. It's just it's a good idea to identify where your desires are coming from, because they could be coming from places that you don't intend them to. And if you block off those places, you might find that your desires are not as deep or as deeply rooted as you may have thought, right? And I'm not saying that like wanting love this intensely is some form of weakness. You know, I'm not, that is pretty much the opposite of what I'm saying. I genuinely think that I'm just saying that it's human, you know? I think that it's like extremely human. I think that there's probably not, I mean, I think that any human on earth that says that they have no desire to be loved or cherished or held in a higher regard or whatever, to feel that connection with others, I think anyone saying that is either absolutely lying, or they probably have something wrong with them mentally, some kind of serious mental issues, because there's no other real explanation for that. I guess the healthier version of the desire to love, it sort of comes from just wanting to share a full life with someone, you know, not needing someone to complete a life that feels, ouch, that feels incomplete without them, right? Like, love should almost be like a modification to your life, and not, if life was a car, love should not be the engine, it should be the supercharger. That's sort of what the or maybe for the people that don't know what a supercharger would do, if life is a car, right, like life should be your engine, but love should be your gas, I guess you could say, or maybe like a higher grade fuel, or like whatever, right? Whatever it is, it should be an addition and not a necessity. Of course, if you want your car to work very well and run very good and go fast, and you want to enjoy your car more, of course you want to get that addition onto your car, but it should not be treated as this end all be all, you know. It's a piece of the puzzle, not the finished picture, you know. And I won't lie to you, I really, there are some dark days for sure. You know, I think that I definitely let my mind run a little bit too free with the constant contemplation of my life and how lonely I feel. And I do need to recognize that it's not exactly loneliness that I feel, you know. I do have people in my life, definitely more than I used to. Maybe it's just the age that I'm at, but that carnal desire, whatever you want to call it, I guess that is something that really does resonate with me. And that's kind of just why I wanted to make this video, as a way of just kind of venting that out there and just, I don't know, seeing if anyone else kind of feels the same way. Because for me, the desire for love is probably the strongest motivator as to why I keep pushing myself despite the difficulty and the uncertainty of what lies ahead.